Welcome to this episode where we're going to chat about the Miss World Top Model competition as well as the World Designer Award fashion shoot. I'm Dani Walker. Thank you for clicking the episode. I hope that you chose to subscribe and that you can choose to support the channel through super thanks, memberships, or by sharing the episode with a friend. This is a little combo episode since most of our contestants wore the same outfit for the photo shoot as they did for the top model competition. I say most because some of them actually chose a separate option. Now, one thing that makes this competition a little bit different from the Supra model competition is I noticed that these ladies kept the same outfits for the first round and then also for the walk-offs. Here are my thoughts on standout performances and also standout images. Brazil is beautiful. This is also one of my favorite looks from the photo shoot as well. I love that the designs are mimicking the Baroque architecture of many churches in Brazil. This is lovely. I do wish that she would have contained the walk a little bit more. I appreciated the energy, but I wanted to see more of a runway walk versus maybe like a fun, lighter pageant walk. Chile. I felt that this gown choice was very safe for this competition. I would have loved to have seen something a little bit different, but nonetheless, it was absolutely stunning. And I love the way that she worked this, walked in this, hair, makeup, all of it on point. Dominican Republic looks gorgeous in black. This is such a popular look for top model competitions, I feel, because it's often very effective and it looks great on stage. But this year we actually didn't see very many all black looks. Definitely not as many all black looks that we see at Supranational by comparison. This was lovely though. She definitely stood out to me from the group. Ecuador, I noticed her also from the photo shoot as well, but for the photo shoot, she had her hair styled up. I think her hair styled up made so much more sense for this gown and the styling choices, but it's still really lovely. It is supposed to represent the deep blue waters. I just love the really delicate ostrich feather touches, the open back. It's lovely. El Salvador, beautiful look here. I really love the hair up styling on her. It really featured her face. So many of the contestants this year had gorgeous glowing skin. Maybe that's due to the warmer climate, I'm not sure, but it was working. Guadeloupe, I absolutely love the movement of this, and really this was one of my favorite, I would say, designs out of the group. I love the use of the shells and the fringe. I think it's incredible, especially on stage. It creates beautiful movement. It really is going to draw your eye in, but I also think that she did a great job showcasing this. Guyana, I think, has a nice walk here, but I do feel like the facial transitions were a little bit too abrupt. If she would have smoothed those out and made them a little bit more subtle, I think it would have enhanced the overall performance. Martinique, oh my goodness, she was such a standout in my departures episode. I absolutely love her. Of course, she has height on her side for sure. This is such a beautiful top model look. I absolutely love this. It's so elegant. I wish I owned it. She did a fantastic job. The walk, the styling, all of it was there for me. Mexico, we saw a really tight up close shot of her, so I don't have much perspective on this performance. It was looking pretty good from what I saw. I will say that I think she's a very beautiful contestant, and this outfit looked, I think, better on the stage than it came across in images. Nicaragua, this is another look where I didn't love the way that it photographed as much as I love it on stage. And when I saw it on stage, I was like, oh, okay, I totally see why her team chose this. Excellent. I would have styled this though without the thigh-high boots. I don't think it elevated it. I don't think it was necessary. But she's a really beautiful contestant. Panama is so elegant. I really loved this. I think that this is such a great look because of the detail in the coat. I also feel like it's a little bit more unexpected, and it's easy to just go with the gown for this competition or the all black look with glitter, but to actually wear something that I think is unique, styled very well, and also showcases culture is something that I love to see. Puerto Rico, oh my gosh, the skirt was fantastic. I do, however, feel like the star of the show was the garment, and it looked a little bit difficult for her to walk in, but I still remembered her. I remembered her, and I feel like part of the battle in pageantry is just standing out and being memorable, so I wanted to mention her. Trinidad and Tobago, okay. Entrance, right? I love that. I love when contestants think of every little part of their performance. This was lovely. Very unique outfit that she wore here. I think this translated better on stage. I think she's absolutely stunning. No wonder she's doing just so well. We can see how competitive she is. Just if you look at this performance on its own and isolate it, I think it makes sense why she's doing well across the board. So very excited to continue watching her journey. USA, absolutely love the color of this. The meaning behind this is actually the architecture of the Guggenheim Museum, which I think is really cool. I think that Athena is so stunning facially. She's Venezuelan American, and so Many Venezuelans are obviously known for their beauty, so what a lovely mix here we're seeing, and I think that the performance also paired with this was wonderful. I loved Venezuela's dress. I think this is lovely. I think that the hairstyle was absolutely perfect with it. I did, however, feel like this walk could have been softened up a little bit. I didn't feel like the walk was paired well with the outfit that she was wearing. I think that the walk could have been a little bit more elegant for this. Our top two for the Americas and the Caribbean were Martinique and Venezuela. Then they did a walk-off, and I will say that I preferred Venezuela's second performance so much more. I think it made so much more sense with the dress. It was lovely, but I understand why in the end Martinique won. I love the outfit, I love the walk, the entire performance. It was fantastic. Don't forget that for this, the winner of the top model competition for their region advances into the top 10 for their continent. Let's talk about our next group, Africa. So for me, the photo shoot aspect of this, I felt like African countries this year for their images were especially strong. I feel like out of all of the groupings, I probably loved the most images out of their group. Botswana, absolutely love this look. I think it photographed really well as well. And so this one was just a standout for me. Cameroon, such a beautiful face. I just love the way that she carried this on stage. I think a lot of times contestants don't know what to do with their face for top model competitions. They're very confused. Like, do I smile? Do I stay serious? I don't really know. And honestly, it really depends on, I think, the garment that you're wearing and then like how you're going to carry that garment. I felt like she was just like right on the money with this. She had such great eye contact. The dress that she was wearing was beautiful. It photographed really well. And overall, I just say I love the energy that she brought. Côte d'Ivoire. So I think height also is working on her side. Absolutely beautiful. And I think it doesn't hurt that when we think of models, we think tall, we think long. So that I think was really helping her. I absolutely love what she's wearing. I love the weaving throughout the edge of her sleeve. I'm not sure if you could really see that detail while she was moving, but it was captured perfectly in the images that they took. So she was one of my favorite for both parts. Guinea, I'm absolutely obsessed. She was one, I would say, of my top 5 best images. When I saw that image, it just stops you in your tracks. It was powerful, and the first thing I thought of was just queen, royalty. She had such a commanding presence in her image, and I love, love, love this entire look on the runway as well. I don't know if this could have gone any better for her. I enjoyed it. Kenya is beautiful. Love this look. I do wish she hadn't have gone with the red lip, and I do think that the gown really, really stood out in the images. It looked a little bit harder to move in though on stage. Mauritius, beautiful. She has one of my favorite images as well. She did such a great job with her and the team being able to capture the movement of the chiffon in this dress in her image. Lovely. The walk itself was wonderful. I think that she also looked beautiful on stage, and she stood out to me. Namibia is beautiful. The red is such a standout here. I just thought that she had also a really nice pose at the end of the runway, and I think that that ending pose is so important. It's like your last impression with the judges, so nailing a pose, nailing your last pose, ladies, so essential. Nigeria is just so beautiful. I do, however, wish that she would have softened her facial expression just a little bit for the runway competition, but she's lovely, and her image was beautiful as well. Senegal, yes. Love the spin turn. Love the walk, the pose, the facials, everything for me. This is actually a top scoring walk for me out of this division. And also I really just love the coat drop at the end of the runway. It was all so well timed and so precise. This is something I enjoyed seeing. Somalia, wow, absolutely stunning on stage, just as beautiful as she is in her image as well. Her image was one of my top picks. I think orange is a rare color, especially this more of a burnt orange shade. It perfectly complements her skin tone, and I loved it. South Africa, prepared. Wow, she had a really nice opening. I really liked this dress on her. It was unique because we saw these floral appliques. She had this wonderful little popover style of dress, and then the inside of her back cape also had these beautiful flower designs. She just did a lovely job, and she had a nice turn and really beautiful and fresh makeup that I think complemented this look as well. South Sudan, I loved her image. I also love this color on her. The garment is absolutely beautiful. It's this modern take on a traditional look, and it's just lovely. Togo, I think, had a nice walk, and I really like this piece. I like the floral appliques that are standing out on her. This is representative of the flora in her country, and then the gold is signifying sunlight, so very, very beautiful. I do feel like the posing at the end of the runway though could have been a little stronger, a little bit cleaner. Tunisia, I think that she is so beautiful. I just don't think that this gown did anything for her. The coloring seemed to wash her out, but the walk was good, and I feel like her beauty is undeniable. Uganda is just gorgeous. Her facial beauty, wow. And one thing I noticed about her performance is that for me, I think that the dress was okay that she wore. And I felt the same way about her image, but it was really just her. It wasn't the dress, it was her. She was wearing the dress was not wearing her. Zimbabwe, I loved her still image. What I really like about this gown style is the intricacy of it. We saw this beautiful ruching around her hips that really accentuated the waist as well. We also, because of the way of the lighting that we saw in this shoot, we still got to see her silhouette, although technically the skirt was quite full. It had these skirt details that created a lot of volume, and that's the same type of style that we see in a lot of ballroom dancing competitions. It looks beautiful, lots of great movement there. This was just lovely, and I really want to note that I think that Zimbabwe, across all pageant systems, we're talking Universe, Cosmo, Super, anything, I think that they're sending such great representatives, and I do feel like they're flying under the radar. I feel like they're underrated. I don't think that they're getting the appreciation that they deserve for their efforts. That really disappoints me. I'm waiting to see them get more placements. I would say to Zimbabwe and all of their representatives, like, just keep holding on, keep sending great representatives, keep putting that work into your preparation, and you will be noticed in the pageant industry. I don't know why that's not happening right now. I disagree with many of the placements, and I really would be ranking Zimbabwe high, you know, not just for this performance, but across the board for a lot of organizations. I think there's been so many times where Zimbabwe deserves a placement, but maybe they're not getting those placements because of interviews, because of behavior behind the scenes. I don't know. So maybe that's where Zimbabwe needs to place their focus. So our winners for Africa, our top two, were Cote d'Ivoire. I feel like no surprise there, and Namibia. I totally get those top two placements. I think they were really, really strong, but I can't help but think, how was Senegal not in a top two? And if she's not, that she had to have been in that three. I was so impressed by that performance. I definitely would have placed her in my top two. Now let's talk about Europe. Belgium wore this beautiful bright pink, and I feel like visually, first of all, that's what made her stand out. I love the ostrich feather details. I believe it was actually a jumpsuit. That's what it looks like. Really, really cute. Great walk. Definitely a standout. Czech Republic, I think that she had more of a horse walk style here, and I think that she actually stood out. She has such a beautiful face on stage. I do feel like that the color could have been different though in what she was wearing to just stand out even more visually for her. Ireland, I have to say, was really glowing. I don't think that this dress translated as well in still images. I think that it looked so much better on stage because the stage was able to pick up the stoning on the waist. I think she was glowing in this, and she looked absolutely beautiful. Italy, I think she looked so beautiful on stage, and I do feel like, however, the walk was feeling a little bit heavy. So like the way that she was placing the weight on the stage, I think that the dress was beautiful on her though, and she could have been placing a little bit higher with some slight adjustments for that walk. Montenegro, I thought that this gown looked great on her. The one change I would make though is to have a soft smile, not a full smile. I feel like that would have blended and meshed more with this style of gown. North Macedonia, I have to say, I think that the flow of this dress was really, really beautiful on stage, very eye-catching. The walk, I think, was good. So one thing I would change though for sure would have been the makeup. I think she needed completely different hair and makeup styling, and that could have made the difference. Poland, absolutely beautiful and black. This look, I think, really worked on her. I think it looked great in the images as well. One thing I would say though is for her to relax her shoulders in that walk. I think that that could have affected the score and prevented her from moving forward. Spain, absolutely stunning. I also love the meaning behind this look. So she talked about how what she is wearing is traditionally worn by men in her country, and so now we're seeing this feminine rendition of it, and it just has such beautiful meaning. If you go and check out the actual posts of the still images, I think this photographed really well for the images. When she did the photo shoot, she actually styled it with a black hat. I think that it made sense to wear it without the hat. It looked great on stage. It really didn't need it. This was lovely. I loved the walk, the poses. I would have placed her as well in a higher score, and I think she would have been in my top two. Ukraine was so beautiful, but she got cut off, so I really didn't get to see much of this performance, but from what I did see, I think it probably went pretty well. Our top two were Belgium and Ireland. I feel like that made a lot of sense. And then Ireland ended up going home and receiving that placement, so she is advancing in finals. Let's talk about Asia and Oceania. Australia, absolutely beautiful in this dress. I wanted to talk about this in her photo shoot because it's a really, really subtle detail around the waist. I love that the ruching actually stops. So it's almost like a belted waist detail, and then it ends and you can actually see that in the fabric. Really beautiful, lovely flow, lovely color. Stunning facially on stage. I was a big fan of her. But Asia and Oceania, tough group. Bangladesh, great walk, great pose. Also, this was one of my favorite images and pieces from the photo shoot that they did. There are these elements of seashells that are like mother of pearl, and then also there's all of this laser cut pieces of velvet in between those spaces that creates a void, it creates depth. Just amazing. Great in images, great on the runway. India, fantastic outfit for on stage as well as in her photo shoot. She stood out in both. The contrast, the pops of color with the black and the red were lovely. Also, the cape type of piece on this look was very unique, I would say, for an Indian representative, and she was incredible. Just the makeup, the hair, the walk, the facial transitions, she nailed this. Indonesia, I loved this look in her images, loved it on stage. I think that the color blocking was so well done, the elements of gold, the headpiece. This would not have been easy to walk in, so I was very impressed by Indonesia. Lebanon, I didn't love this look as much in the images, but I have to say on stage, it flowed beautifully and the color looked lovely on her live and in person. Malaysia, honestly, beautiful style on her. I love when she got to the end of the runway, her little look down and up back at us. I thought that was great, but I do feel like the walk needed less bounce. Myanmar, one of my favorite looks of the group. Oh my gosh, this photographed so well. She looked beautiful on stage. I think that this is a nice walk, but there was one thing that I noticed. She was one of our few contestants who looked to the side slightly, and I think that for these runway or top model competitions, we needed to look straight down the runway. New Zealand, very cool dress here, photographed really well, but then also when we saw it on stage, I will say, however, the bodice, I didn't like where it was sitting on her waist because the bodice looked higher than it should have been, like the cups were shifted up versus sitting right under the bust, so that's one thing. I think she'll look lovely. She stood out to me for the departures. I said, oh my gosh, she just gives me Miss World vibes, so she looked incredible here. This was great, very creative styling. Philippines, oh my gosh, this whole look, this was symbolic of Palawan's peacock. So absolutely incredible. The details on this, the corseted waist, the sleeve capes, the walk, the posing, the face, the hair, the makeup, it was all there for me. When I saw this, I was like, gosh, this is a really, really tough group. Sri Lanka, absolutely beautiful face. This is one of those cases where I looked at her and I was like, wow, she stands out so much more on stage than in the images. It's so interesting to see how things translate in different settings. Thailand, this gown in itself, it's not something that we haven't seen. It's not a super unique design. It's actually quite a classic design, but what I appreciate about it, and it works for her, is that it's made out of Thai silk and she's also wearing Thai pearls. So I like that part behind it. I also like the color of this. It coincides with her name, Opal. I just think it's so well branded, and wow, could she walk in this? The facials, the posing, all of it. I can't wait to see how she does. Vietnam, love the lotus flower design. I liked this in the photo shoot. I think it looks even better on stage. Her walk, excellent. The posing, just all of it. Big fan of Vietnam. Our winners for Asia and Oceania were New Zealand and India, and then India ended up going home with that #1 pick, so she is advancing for sure in the finals. This was amazing. I mean, this was such a tough group. I really thought though that either Philippines or Thailand, one of them, not necessarily both because it's so tough, could have made it into that top 2. They must have been on the edge. I thought they were excellent. A few others that I want to mention just for their photo shoot images that I thought were really standouts were Moldova in the red. Wow, the structure of the shoulders, the pose that she's hitting, lovely. Loved Scotland's look. Also, fun fact, she designed this, and I actually just saw her walk in a fashion show. It was a charity fashion show in New York City called Dressed to Kilt, and she is so beautiful in person, so tall. Serbia. I have to say that just the structure of this piece was so impressive. The emerald designs that are symbolic of the coral reef are really, really lovely. I really appreciate the construction and the structure of this. It reminds me so much of these really cool, unique, and modified peplums that we were seeing on a lot of red carpets from designers like Louis Vuitton and Schiaparelli this season. Ethiopia. She had a different outfit for the shoot and for on stage, and I much prefer the outfit that she wore for the shoot. I just love the mixture of fabrics and colors, the headpiece, and also I'm not sure what you would call what she was carrying in her hand, but if that is a handbag, absolutely lovely. Cambodia. I don't think that the color translated so well on stage, but it's fantastic in the images. I think it's such a beautiful design, and the gold elements, the headpiece, all of it was incredible. China, this was beautiful. It reminded me a lot of smoke, and also I liked that the way that she was able to work with the photography team to capture that the fabric being lifted into the air. It gave it this extra lightness. The hair accessories are absolutely lovely in the image as well. Mongolia, love this design. We see lots of scallops here. Obviously this is a design that's inspired by the shells and the ocean, so this was very lovely. Sierra Leone, really cool custom dress that she's wearing here. Love the iridescent pieces, and the structure of this dress was fabulous. Zambia, I prefer the look that she wore for the photo shoot than to what she wore on stage. I wish she would have wore this. I thought this was fabulous. Bolivia, what a lovely gown. This is inspired by the ocean, and I really love that for the photo that she moved so you could appreciate the fringe and its movement on this dress. It was stunning. Those are my thoughts for the top model competition and the photo shoot. Let me know what you thought, and let me know what you would like to see on the channel next. Also, don't forget, let's keep our comments really kind because our contestants do read them.